All righty. Sorry I'm a little late. Obviously getting ready for the Chiefs. I got a great opponent coming in here to U.S. Bank, and looking to get our first win there at home this year. So big opportunity. And before we take questions, I want to give a shout out to the Twins on a big win yesterday. Another big game today. Hopefully they can get it done and advance. And it's fun for us, as players, to kind of, be able to follow them in the fall while we're playing and while the practices are going, to have their games on. So hopefully their season can go as long as possible. And I was at the game yesterday. It was a lot of fun. So pulling for them as well. But I can take any questions you have.
How much fun was yesterday? You were sitting among just the regular folks. Like, you could be sitting up in a suite, but you were just sitting there, in the 100 level?
Yeah, we obviously Tuesday being an off day, and I didn't realize how quickly the transition was from the regular season to right into the playoffs to the wild card. And so we were sitting there, and my wife and I noticed the game was right this afternoon, and our boys nap in the afternoon or earlier in the afternoon. So night games are tough for us because they're in bed by then. So we thought it's perfect timing. We can bring them after their nap. It's great, these day games. So we just bought tickets online last minute and made our way. It was awesome. It was great. I kept sunglasses on and a hat, tried to blend in, and each inning I could tell word was getting around the section, but it was great. A lot of Vikings fans, a lot of Twins fans, obviously, and it was a lot of fun.
Did the boys like it?
They loved it. Ate a lot of peanuts, a lot of Cracker Jacks, and I was trying to teach my older son about the game, and it was one of those moments, where you're like, I'm really doing this. I'm at a pro baseball game, sitting next to my 6-year-old son, trying to teach him about the game. Like, this is what my dad did with me. Like, this is happening right now. Here we go. So it was a lot of fun.
Is that a good real-time example? I know Tuesdays are really important to you and the family.
Yeah. At first I was like, do I want to drive in the city and put on a disguise and try, And I thought, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. It's the playoffs, and I know I'll look back and be so glad we did, and I was, and I am. So it was awesome. Just the energy, man. We were walking through the concourse. We got there a little bit late, walking through the concourse as Royce hit the first home run. The place just erupted, and I looked at my wife and said, is this what U.S. Bank is like when we hit a touchdown to Justin? And she said, yeah, pretty much. I said, this is great energy. I love this. So it was also cool just to be on the other side of it. I'm used to being the one on the field, and to be the one in the stands, you kind of see it from someone else's perspective and kind of realize how these fans are just dying to get behind you and cheer for you, and you want to give them something to get excited about. So it was a good perspective to have.
Did you get a chance when he was out here a few weeks back?
Yeah.
When he was out here, did you get a chance to meet him at all?
I did, and Dean Lowry is a huge baseball fan, and Najee Harris as well. They really know their stuff, so I get all my updates from them. But Dean made the point that ever since Royce came to practice, he's been mashing. So we do, as Vikings, want to take credit for Royce's recent obviously a tremendous hitter, tremendous player, but if he's hot right now, we'll take all the credit. Yeah.
Kirk, with the Netflix documentary, just how well did you get to know Pat kind of through that, and what did you learn about him?
We didn't cross paths during it. Just a very shared experience, even though it's like ships passing in the night, but you had the same experience. So when we got to the premiere in Hollywood, that was the first time we were able to connect on it, and it was able to kind of say, hey, we kind of went through the same thing, and so that was a positive. And he's just a great person. I think it's good for our league to have a player at the top like that who carries himself the way he carries himself. I think he's a great person as well as a great player, and so that's a real positive.
Have you watched that back? I know you like to study other quarterbacks, but have you watched that back at all, trying to glean things from it that it might have shown about him and the way he goes about his business?
Certainly you learn what works for guys, and there was a lot there. There was a lot that was similar, where you say, boy, that's how we do practice, that's how we do meetings, walkthroughs, body work, and then there's other stuff where you say, yeah, that is different, and so I think it was fun, probably for everybody else too, just to see stuff you would otherwise not see.
What about Pat and the way he plays impresses you most?
Well, I just think, his ability to make big plays when they seemingly aren't there. His ability to make things happen, I think, is and I think also the way he started so fast, to come in and have never played his rookie year, go in his first year and do what he did, and then never really look back. That's hard to do, and he did it. And so, he's a great player.
When you think of a Steve Spagnuolo defense, where do you begin in your expectation?
A lot of respect for him. He's been in this league a long time, had a lot of success, been on a lot of winning football teams and great defenses, and used to see his scheme when I was in Washington twice a year, and then now him being in Kansas City, us being here, I have not seen him since 2019. We went to Arrowhead, so I guess preseason game in 21, but he's just they play a lot of different defenses, and they have great players. I think that's a big part of it too. As you look at their roster, it's a great scheme and players who execute it well. So, he's been around a long time for a reason.
You see Chris Jones move up and down the line and have effectiveness pretty much any spot. What is it about his game that really enables that?
Yeah, obviously another great player. Has put it on tape for a long time. He can play a variety of positions in a variety of situations, and he's good against the run, good against the pass. So he's one of those guys you got to have a plan for, and he's certainly a challenge.
On a week-to-week basis, how challenging is it trying to balance forcing the ball to Justin versus finding him in rhythm? Is it a challenge? How do you?
For me, I will always try to just throw to the open guy. I feel like if Justin's covered, double covered, I do think it starts to enter okay, I'm forcing it. Let's not do that. I think opportunity balls might be a little bit of a different story, where you say, I feel like there's a window here. I have a vision for where I can put this football to where it is high percentage. I don't think it makes sense for me to throw a lot of low percentage throws to him, but even when he's covered, it's leaving my hand with the expectation that this is relatively high percentage because of who he is and where I kind of have a feel for how to put the football. So I think it starts to become low percentage. I think we're probably missing something. And you just have to kind of take it week to week, how do defenses try to defend him, take him away, and if they are doing an effective job at that, I think it's important not to force it. But Kevin also does a good job of when that happens, being able to say, okay, if they're going to do this, then we need to do this, and tends to still lead to Justin getting the football.
When you're making those kind of determinations about what's high percentage or low percentage, how much do you take in the factor of the guy on the other side that may make it a higher percentage throw just because of who he is?
Oh, yeah, totally. No, it's very Justin specific that, okay, I've seen he can adjust to this football. Even in practice last Friday, I threw a ball in the low red zone that was kind of driven and off his body, and he was able to pivot and make a catch. And I look back at our coaches, and I just said, not a lot of receivers can do that. And it looks pretty basic, but it's very difficult to adjust and have that kind of body control. So he made a throw that might be low percentage for others, high percentage in that moment.
Adjusted to what an opportunity ball looks like to Justin compared to what it looks like to other guys?
I just think it's an ongoing conversation. On the plane after the game, I asked him, hey, on that touchdown you caught near the end of the game, how do you want that ball thrown? Do you want it with more air? Do you want it to be a driven ball? Do you want it on your outside shoulder? Where do you want it? And he didn't give me much feedback. He pretty much said, you just put it out there, I'll catch it. And I said, all right, that doesn't help me a ton, but I understand what you're saying. So I just try to be a student of maybe how to put the football in certain situations, and it probably is different in each moment. If the safety's coming over, it's got to be a driven ball. If it's truly one-on-one, you can put a little more air on it. So I just want to make sure that when he has an opportunity, let's give him that chance, as opposed to overthrowing him or throwing it in such a way that he couldn't really let his ability come to the surface. So that's where I'm at.
Kirk, when the team signed Josh Oliver, I feel like it was people were saying blocking tight end, blocking tight end, blocking tight end, and obviously he's good at that, but has shown that he can do stuff in the passing game too. Just what have you liked about his versatility, and what does he bring for you?
Well, he can really run. He is a big target. It's not a great nickname, but I don't know why. In early August, I started calling him the Sears Tower, so that's what I call him. He's just feel like when I throw to him, I'm throwing to the Sears Tower running across the field. So. And it's not even the Sears Tower anymore; it's the Willis Tower. But the nickname still works. So, and it hasn't truly caught on. I don't think there's many guys in the locker room calling him that. Our quarterback coach says it a little bit. So, got some work to do from a marketing standpoint on that nickname. But that kind of sums it up. I just feel like he's a big target, friendly target, great athleticism, and obviously a great blocker in both the run game and pass game.
Does he have a Chicago connection?
He does not. He is from the West Coast. He went to San Jose State. It just was the first thing that popped into my mind on a hot training camp practice, and it stuck. And I guess if I think of a better skyscraper, maybe I can change it. But it's Sears Tower for now.
Midwest version of the Empire State Building.
Yeah. So.
The way you've worked tight ends over your career, they're such an important part of that in the way offenses attack these days. But just have you ever thought about how different playing quarterback is to work the ball to tight ends these days than if you had come along earlier?
Yeah, it is a different brand of ball when you're in 11 versus 21 or 12. I think Kevin deserves a lot of credit for, using the personnel he uses. I think it says a lot about his football mind and his ability to, have a vision for what it should look like, what it can look like. And, Kevin has such a great football mind that I think that shows in the way he went and acquired Josh and has used Josh. And in addition to TJ, in addition to Justin, and I can go on and on. And I think that's a great thing as a quarterback to play with a guy who has such a great football mind. Yep, thanks, guys.